So it's recording. Share the screen. Okay, I'm going to go here. And I'm just going to start Jupyter Notebook so that we know where we are. And you guys can help me out. Jupyter Notebook. Okay. All right, so this was the model, I think, that I did, winedata.onnx. So this was the Jupyter. I have to run all of it. Okay, just kind of, I'm going to restart and clear the output. Okay, one thing I'm going to do is decrease the number of epochs. So remember, you're going to need to run this for a little bit longer so that your model is better, obviously, right? So just make sure you do. Okay, so I changed it to 100. So I'm going to go ahead and run the libraries. XGBoost is there. So currently we're just deploying one of the PyTorch neural networks. Okay. So we're using the wine data. So that's 11 inputs and 1 output. Okay. There's our data. Okay, correlation matrix. Okay, convert a NumPy. Look at the shapes. Do the split. Okay, normalization. The data loader. And then we have our architectures, right? So I guess I must be using a deep learning architecture. It doesn't really matter what it is, right? As I said, pick whichever one. You can deploy all of these if you'd like, and I encourage you to play with these, right? You know what the R score should be. So then make sure that the predictions are pretty good in your deployed model as well. Okay, so I'm gonna do DLNet. I think that's the one we're using. Linear plus nonlinear. Okay, this is our training phase, so it should be quick. All right, so DLNet, so it's going to be just 100 epochs. Give it a second. Did anyone try to finish deploying the ONNX model on their own? Nope, just waited. Okay. All right. All right. While this is going, let's move to the GitHub, which is where we're deploying. So PyTorch. So we have deploy to production, I guess. Yeah, wine quality, and then NN. And then we're going to add another folder for XGBoost. Okay, so we've got our ONNX model here. We've got the index HTML. Let's take a look at it real quick. It's got the CSS. All the buttons are there. We run example. And then we have predictions over here, which is where we're going to display our data. Okay, so JS, I'm pretty sure, is where I left off. Okay, so I didn't finish this part. Okay, now let's check out the website. It should run if I click on this. Yep, there it is. Okay, so everyone with me, this is kind of where we were, right? And all we're going to do is predict the wine quality down here. Okay, so our work is going to be an index.js. I just want to have the Jupyter because we're going to need it for the XGBoost part. So we haven't generated that model yet. All right, so it should be done. Great. Okay, so that's done. Let's just finish this up. Okay, so predicted. calculate our square, so it's 0.40. And then, okay, print out the values. All right, so if you remember, this is basically the code, right? So PyTorch has a way of generating ONNX models just by doing torch ONNX export. However, I want to have this code in case we deploy it and it doesn't work for some reason. We may need to make some tweaks to this here. So this, we can stop here for this part. And then we're going to look at XGBoost, generating it, and then writing the ONNX code to deploy it, okay? So assuming our ONNX model is good, let's go now and just continue the code here. So if you remember, you should all be on your GitHub, should be able to click on the pencil, and now we're going to start adding in our code here, okay? So let's go ahead. Do that. So this is an F1 plus F2 and then. So all right, so we have a variable here. Yeah, 1 by 11, because there are 11 inputs, 11 text boxes. So now we define a variable, tensor x. You can see that down here, right? This one, you can see that. So let tensor x equal new ONNX dot tensor, right? And it takes this x, basically. So it's a type of typecasting. We're converting it into an ONNX variable of float 32, and the dimension is 1 by 11. So it's really being converted, okay? So that should, this is where we kind of left off, I believe. All right, so now what we need to do is we need to create an inference session with ONNX, okay? Where we're gonna read in our model. So we're gonna do let, now remember, all these, whenever we're using this ONNX, it's coming from the JavaScript library that we imported in the index.html file. Okay, everyone with me so far? Everyone with me? Yep. All right, so let session equal new ONNX dot inference session. Okay. So this is just the ONNX, not ONNX runtime approach. And this is what's going to change a little bit when we do XGBoost, where we're going to use ONNX runtime, basically. So now that we have the session created, we can use the session. So we would say await, and then session dot load model. Okay. And the model is already on the GitHub, right? So it's in the same folder, basically. So then we can say, let's try dot / yeah, and the name should be what? Gotta be in here. PyTorch, wine production, wine quality, and then, all right, it's called DLNet wine data ONNX. I can just copy this. Okay. All right, so that should work. Okay. So await session dot load model, and then the name of the file. Okay, semicolon. And then we're gonna run. So basically this loads the model into the website, and now we can use the model. It's like we've created the object. So now we can say, let output, let's say let output map, just to have a variable there that's different, equal to await session dot run. So we're going to run the model because it's associated with the session. It's already loaded there. Okay. So that's basically the idea. And then what do we run it on? We're going to run it on the data itself. So the data itself is what's coming from the text boxes, which is X, which becomes tensor X. And you just have to put it in square brackets, basically. So then it's going to be tensor X like that. Does that make sense, guys? All right. And once we have that, let's add a semicolon here. Okay. And from there, that object is still, we still need to extract something from that. I think it's still an object. So when we did this, right, if you remember, we said that we had a name basically for the element in there. So this is one thing I'm not so sure how it's going to work out. So we're going to have to test it. So, but basically, we have to invoke this from the object to actually retrieve the data. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and try that. So that should be let output data equal, and then it's going to be output map dot get parentheses and then single quote, and then here we would say output. So we just have to use the same name. So this is how they've made it for some reason. You'll see in the other one, they all have names also, which is like a graph where the nodes have names and you can reference them. So the name was what? Output 1. Okay, so let's match that name. So let's say output 1, and then hopefully now we should have the result, which is that one output, right? So then let's go over here. Okay, and now that we have the output, we can basically display it onto the website. So you guys should be able to do this because this is just like general web development. It's going to be let predictions equal document dot get element by ID semicolon. All right, and we called it, so we have to match whatever we called it in the HTML. So I'm pretty sure we called it predictions actually. So it's just lowercase predictions. All right, I'm gonna hit commit just to save it. Commit. All right, we're gonna go here to the index HTML, and we are invoking basically this div here, which has the ID of predictions, right? So that's what we're invoking. Make sense? So that's why you call it predictions. So that's standard, I mean, web development, right? Okay, so we go back to index.js, click on the pencil again. Okay, and now that we have the object predictions, we just have to assign the result to it. So the way that we can do this is we're going to create a little table just to make it more presentable. Although we don't have to, but I kind of want to do that. So predictions dot inner HTML equal, right? And now you're going to use the tilde symbol, which should be that, right? If you guys can see it, it's that symbol there. It's on the upper left-hand corner of your keyboard, usually under escape on a laptop. All right, and then let's not forget to close it. So let's do enter, tilde again, and add a semicolon. All right, so that's where it's going to end. So then in here, we can add in basically HTML code. Hopefully it'll work. All right, so we can add a few things. I'm going to add like horizontal rule, I think this is called, right? I think you guys can correct me. And then I'm going to add, a message. So I'm going to say got an output, tensor with values, and then colon or something. And then you can add a break line tag, BR tag. Okay, and now we're going to create a table. So table, and then we can end it here. Table. Okay. So now in here, we're just going to add in, you guys can do this better than me. Let's do a table row, right? So a table row, so TR, close TR. Okay. And then let's add 2 data cells. So TD. This one is going to be the value. What was the output value? Do you guys remember? The rating, right? Was it the rating of the wine quality? We're doing the wine quality, remember? 11 inputs. What was that output? 1. Yeah, the input vector is 11 and the output is 1. But remember, the thing that we're doing is wine quality, right? So it's the rating of it. Okay. So from 0 to 10 or something, rating of, yeah, rating of wine quality. Okay. So let's close the TD tag. All right. So, yep. And then, oops, sorry. Then the next one will be the actual result. Okay, so you got to do this one correct, or you're going to get an error. Table data. I'm going to add an ID just in case you needed to reference this for some reason. You can reference it. So you would call it something like table 0 or 1, however you want to call it. Okay. Close that. Then I'm going to make sure it's closed. And then in here, I'm going to so this is where we actually provide the result, right? Okay. So it's going to be $, curly bracket, open curly bracket, close curly bracket. And then in here, we're going to invoke output data, which is this one, right? So output data. Dot data 0 and then dot to fixed. And this is just changing the decimal places to 2. Otherwise, it's going to give you a whole bunch of decimal places. Right? And that should be it. So cross your fingers, right, that it'll work. Do you guys see any errors? Those of you that are experts in web development? No? Okay, so that should be it. Okay, guys. So I'm gonna hit commit. And then, like I said, it does take a little bit of time for it to update on GitHub. Any questions? All right, so let's try it. Click on it. Okay, this is the model. Refresh. You can view source probably. Okay, so it's not updated yet. So you can, no, actually, this is the index, so could be. It's not doing anything. Let's give it a minute. But yeah, that's basically the idea. Any questions? We can go back, index.js. Okay, so it was 1 minute ago, it was updated. So within 10 minutes, it should be good. But that's it. That's kind of how you would be able to deploy your model. It's simple, right? What do you guys think? It's not too bad, yeah. So hopefully this will work. One thing I recommend is grab like 10 test samples, right? Grab 10 test samples with the 11 values for input and the corresponding output value, and run those 11 and make sure that the output that you're getting is matches. And then you'll know that you deployed it correctly. Does that make sense? So, you know, see if you can find one that's like an 8, one that's like a 5, something like that. Any questions? All right, so let's go back to this tab over here. Run. Nothing's happening. I mean, we could have an error, so that's the problem. So we need to sort of debug or something. So okay, so now let's think through, where would the errors be? The error could be here in the way that I wrote this, right? That it's inconsistent. So that's, we know the model works, right? So you know the model's good, that predicted. We get an R-square, we get predictions here. So the model's good. So then the possible error could be here, okay? And I will double check this. Or the error could be in my JavaScript code, right? And so we need to look there as well. Okay, so nothing yet. Yeah, go ahead. Is that a comma, really? Huh. How did that happen? This is from last week, right? Yeah, that's, so it's not finding it. Okay. Okay. Well, I guess I have to correct this. All right, so click on this one then. Then you got to go in here, see where I'm going. and then just do, good catch, thank you. So do this, right? And then here, just put a dot JS, and hopefully that'll take care of it. It's a dot, right? So go ahead and click on commit. All right, so, all right, good. We can double check, so good eye. Look, go to index.html, you can see it's invoking index.js. Okay, so yeah, thank you. So let's go ahead, try again. So we fixed that. Okay, let's go back here. Yeah, let's refresh. That's index.js. Okay. All right, try it again. Nothing.
I'm getting an error code.
Okay.
Input dims doesn't match data length. And it's on index.js :16.
Here.
Line
Lines.
16 for me, so it's the let tensor x equal. So line 18 for you.
This one.
Yeah.
Dimensions don't match. Well, there's 11 here, and this is 11, right? One, two, three. Oh, okay. So let's try, instead of that. Let's try this. Okay, thanks, Joey. Good catch. Yeah, try this one. Try. Let me comment. Let's comment out this. Oh, sorry, not like that. Yeah. And let's do var x equal like that. Let's just try that. So let's not define any dimensions there on x, because what you were saying is that dimensions don't match, right? So I might be having an issue with this one or something. So let's try that. Do you guys see what I'm doing? Just that worked? Okay, perfect. Thanks. All right, so yeah, so comment this one out, please, guys. And oh, it didn't work. Same error?
Yeah.
Same error? Okay. All right. Let me hit the pencil again. Okay, so if you guys can help me debug this. It's 432. Box one. Make sure the names are correct, that it's not an error of like 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hit commit. Gonna check out the index. That's box 1, 2, 3. Okay. The values are obviously wrong. So we need to change these. right, so it's been 2 minutes. I'm just double checking the code again, to see if I didn't make any mistakes. Yep. Oh, you got output. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right. So you did get output. Okay, great. All right. So let's see if I get output. Huh, I'm not getting it. Yeah, no, good, good. Huh. So that means. Did you use the default values or did you use actual values? So these, okay, and it still gave you something. Okay. For me. So how about the rest of you? Did anyone get the table at least? You got it? With no value. How about you have a value in the table? Huh? You got the same thing as me. You got it. Can I take a look at your laptop? Can you bring it over? All right, thank you. Yeah, it's very strange. So she's the only one that got this to work. Let me double check. Huh. All right, so I'm gonna pause the video here.